First up, Jay Mohr. Jay Mohr threw some serious shade Jennifer Aniston's way when he accused her of being mad that she had to play his love interest in a movie. Basically, she felt that casting could have gotten a more attractive person to act alongside her. It started in 2010 when Elle asked him what his most awkward interaction with a female celebrity was. He responded, not giving names, but describing a situation when an actress got very angry after learning that Mohr was playing her love interest in a movie. Apparently, after she learned the news, she said, quote, "You've got to be kidding me," right to his face. That interaction led Mohr to, quote, "go to my mom's house and cry." He was specifically asked if the woman he was talking about was Jennifer Aniston because she was his love interest in the 1997 film Picture Perfect. Mohr said, quote, "I will never ever answer that." But shortly after, he did answer who he was talking about. While on his Mohr Stories podcast, he confirmed it was Aniston after all. He claimed she went up to him, pointed at him, and yelled, quote, "6 guys they screen test. 6. The one effing guy I hate, this is the guy they hire. Him." Apparently, this kind of berating went on for an entire day, and she kept trash-talking him to other people, including their mutual co-stars. In summary, he said that she was so mean to him, and it clearly left a huge impact. So much so that he will not stop bringing it up. In 2016, during a Sports Illustrated interview, he was asked what was more satisfying, kissing Jen Aniston or firing Tom Cruise's character in Jerry Maguire. Mohr answered, quote, "Without question, firing Tom Cruise. Tom Cruise is hotter." Probably not the answer that most people were expecting. John Mayer. Most of Jennifer Aniston's ex-boyfriends have nothing but good things to say about her. However, John Mayer took some not-so-subtle digs during an interview after their split. Mayer's 2010 interview with Playboy is pretty infamous in the celebrity world for being one of the shadiest ever, and revealing things he probably should have kept secret, things including some shady digs toward Jen. In the interview, he accused Jen of being someone who is not good with technology, and even refuses to learn new ways to do things, saying, quote, "If Jennifer Aniston knows how to use BitTorrent, I'll eat my effing shoe." While Mayer was getting into Twitter and other social media platforms, he claimed that Aniston was keeping herself away from technological advances. He added, quote, "The brunt of her success came before TMZ and Twitter. I think she's still hoping it goes back to 1998. He even brought up their age difference. Aniston was older by 8 years, saying, quote, "I can't change the fact that I need to be 32. Joan Rivers. The late comedian was not known to keep her opinions to herself, and she didn't hold back about her negative feelings toward Jennifer Aniston. In a 2011 interview, Rivers said about Aniston, quote, "I would like to take Jennifer Aniston and put her hair over her effing face. I'm so bored with her and her stupid movies. They're all the same. I don't know how they get financed." Then when she was asked who she doesn't want to see on their Oscars red carpet, Rivers replied, "Jennifer Aniston. Quote, I don't want to see Jennifer Aniston say, boo hoo hoo, Brad Pitt left me, get the F over it." In her book Joan Rivers Confidential, Rivers made another savage comment about Jen. Quote, "Even if Jennifer does become pregnant, Angelina Jolie will get the baby." Kristen Stewart. It's not clear if this is just a rumor or not, but gossip magazine The National Enquirer claimed they had good reason to believe that Kristen Stewart does not like Jennifer Aniston. Back in 2013, Kristen Stewart was allegedly annoyed that Aniston was getting a lot more press than her. The source who shared this claimed it was clear that Kristen was jealous of Jen. At the time, Stewart was struggling with confidence issues and could not understand why Aniston managed to, quote, "hog the headlines every time with little effort." Stewart apparently also added that Aniston's feud with Angelina Jolie gave her a huge bump in the press and nobody would have cared about her otherwise. The source added that Kristen Stewart said, quote, "If it wasn't for her bitter rivalry with Angelina, Jen would not be this famous these days at all." Again, take this one with a grain of salt, but I'm sure Stewart is not the only person with these feelings. Tim Gunn. Tim Gunn is another person who does not hold back their feelings, and that was no exception in the case of Jennifer Aniston. After her 2008 split from John Mayer, Gunn felt she was completely desperate and would continue with her trope of playing the victim. At a launch party event, he said about Aniston, quote, "Sometimes I think she has a desperate character written on her," adding, "The clothes we wear send a message. I think that's the message. I don't think it's her intention though." Clearly, Gunn thinks her perpetual victim card is all an act, and she's really just desperate for attention. Bill O'Reilly. Aniston and Bill O'Reilly got into a strange feud after Aniston made some comments about children while promoting her 2010 movie, The Switch. For a summary on the movie, Aniston's character wants to have a child, and because she is single, she decides to get a sperm donor and has a child with that donor's help, clearly showing a new take on motherhood in the modern era. While promoting the film, she said that, quote, "Times have changed when it comes to the way that people think about family." Aniston added that single motherhood is quite beautiful because there are children that don't have homes that have a home and can be loved, and that's extremely important. She obviously wasn't intending to start a controversy with these comments, but she did anyways when Fox News host Bill O'Reilly trashed her comments on the O'Reilly factor. He said that her comments told young women that their children don't need fathers, which would be destructive to our society. Aniston, who doesn't usually comment on this stuff, decided to clap back, saying, quote, "I never actually thought my name and that name would ever be in one sentence." She added that she only responded to the ridiculous comments because they insulted the women that are out there doing this on their own. Piers Morgan. Piers Morgan shared his disdain for Jennifer Aniston after he felt that she was overly emotional during a Q&A segment. In 2016, she answered the question if she ever doubted herself by saying, quote, "We're all human beings at the end of the day," while wiping tears from her eyes, voice quivering, adding, quote, "Don't punish yourself if you feel that." Fans love the genuine moment because it's a great feeling knowing that even celebrities have their fair share of bad times. But Piers did not take kindly to her vulnerability and felt it was completely fake. So the following week on Good Morning Britain, Morgan claimed that she was, quote, "self-wallowing and needed to get a grip," adding, quote, "Nobody forced Aniston to do her naked magazine shoots," then reminding her that her problems don't really matter because half of the world is starving. Then later in 2016, he also took the time to respond to an article that Aniston wrote trashing the media, where she shared how she was fed up with body shaming and scrutiny that she received. Morgan responded that she should dismount that high horse. In 2017, Aniston responded to that by saying, quote, "You're always going to have the Piers Morgans of the world contradicting something that comes from the heart and saying you're a hypocrite." The Friends cast. Even though the cast of Friends make it seem like they always got along perfectly, that was not always the case, and there was a point in time where the entire Friends cast hated Jen Aniston. When the show was really taking off, it was clear that fans and the media loved Jen's character the most, and she was getting the most press for everything, including her signature haircut. Her female co-stars got very jealous of all the attention, and that translated into real-life feelings. Courtney Cox and Lisa Kudrow were described as, quote, "very jealous of Jen." The source added, quote, "Everyone wanted to interview Jen, and her Rachel's hair became such a phenomenon that was the only thing people talked about. They were supposed to be a team, but all anyone cared about was Jen and her stupid hair. It got very annoying." And it was not only the women in the group that had a problem with Jen. The men also were not fond of her either. The source continued, quote, "The boys gave her a hard time," claiming that Matthew Perry and Matt LeBlanc also made mean-spirited jokes at Jen's expense. They felt that she thought that she was better than they were. Thankfully for Aniston, the tension did not last long and the cast united together to negotiate salaries of $1 million per episode each. After they won the compensation battle, things simmered. Quote, "They eventually realized the whole fame thing was out of their hands, and they grew up and grew closer as a cast. And now the cast remain good friends to this day. It was even alleged that Matthew Perry and Aniston had a fling back in the day." First up, Rita Ora. It's long been rumored that Rita Ora and Dua Lipa did not like each other, even though they have so much in common and even knew each other before they were famous. And after Bebe Rexha basically confirmed the feud, we have more details about why these women hate each other. Both women are immigrants of Kosovo, who grew up in the UK and even attended the same stage school and gymnastics club. It's also been reported that their families are even friendly. Their feud was made clear at the 2019 Met Gala, where both Dua and Rita were in attendance. A source close to Rita told The Sun that though Dua was looking up to Rita in the past, she has grown fed up of being compared to her. The source said, quote, "It's a shame, as they used to be very close, and Dua spoke a lot about how much she admired Rita. Dua even said she wanted to be just like Rita in the future. Now things have gone south dramatically and she's trying to distance herself, and she's making it no secret in the industry. Rita is desperate to avoid confrontation and went out of her way to make sure that they didn't come face to face." With the source revealing that Rita hates drama and did not want to have an awkward confrontation with Dua, however she was not going to let a petty feud stop her from going to the Met Gala, of course. The feud between them started way before Dua Lipa was famous. Since they grew up knowing each other, Dua reached out to Rita's sister, Alina Ora, for help with her career when she was just starting out. Apparently Alina refused to help, and Dua felt it was because her sister did not want Dua to become a bigger star than her sister Rita, which definitely did end up happening. This is not the only time they have butted heads. The feud continued when Rita Ora was replaced by Dua Lipa in an Adidas campaign. More recently, Rita tried to mend the relationship slightly, but Dua did not soften up. Rita posted to Instagram to support the Put Kosovo on the Map initiative to Apple, where she wrote in the caption, quote, "I would very much like to see Apple spread awareness by putting Kosovo on the map. Albania and Kosovo are full of great and beautiful talents, and I am very proud of my wonderful, strong, talented colleagues who represent our heritage. We share love, peace, and unity today with Bebe Rexha, Dua Lipa, Ava Max, and many others." Even though Dua was mentioned and tagged in this post, Dua did not comment any support for the initiative, even though every other artist mentioned in the post supported it in the comments and shared it to their own profile. So even though Rita Ora tried to mend the tension, it seems that Dua Lipa is not interested in being civil. Next up, Bebe Rexha. Bebe Rexha is in the middle of Rita Ora and Dua Lipa's feud, and she thinks the feud will most likely never end. She's always tried to keep the peace between the women, and she's even pushed hard for a collaboration with all of them, but it seems that Dua is standing in the way of this. While speaking to The Sun, she said about their dynamic, quote, "I have really tried. I don't know what's really going on there or what the drama is. I've tried to always be the peacekeeper and bring the girls together." However, shortly after this interview was published, Rexha walked back her words and claimed the entire interview was taken out of context, responding, quote, "It's absolute bull to put women against each other, especially those who I know are good people," saying that her words were not about their feud, but more so about the competitive nature of the music industry, specifically the way women are pitted against each other. Adding, quote, "It's weird because I know how it is to be a girl and sometimes we can get really competitive. I'm not even talking about me, Dua, Rita, and Ava, I'm just talking about females in general. What happens is there's not enough women at the table." Bebe added that because she believes the music charts are so male dominated, it leaves women musicians with an unspoken competitiveness between them. These comments came after the 2019 Met Gala, where it was widely reported that Dua and Rita avoided each other. Next up, Taylor Swift. We all know that Taylor Swift and Kanye West despise each other, and have been in a long and heated feud since Kanye stole the mic from her in 2009. So how is Dua Lipa involved? Fans originally thought that Dua was a Taylor fan when she was pictured wearing some of Taylor's merch while doing a sound check. Taylor also took this to mean that Dua was a fan, and Taylor commented on this post, writing, quote, "I am screeching with joy." However, the love affair did not last long between Dua and Taylor, because Dua later chose Kanye over Taylor when she was playing a game. The question was simply to choose Taylor or Kanye, and because Dua prefers Kanye's music, she chose him. Instantly, Taylor's fans were up in arms, and fans took it to mean that she chose Kanye in their long-running feud. So they started posting snake emojis all over Dua's feed and calling her a snake. Dua also revealed that she was DM'd threats against her life. Dua cleared it up on an episode of Watch What Happens Live, when she said, quote, "I wasn't thinking about their beef, I was thinking about their music, and Taylor is amazing, but I'm such a hip-hop fan that I probably would have chose Kanye over anyone." Next up, Calvin Harris. Calvin Harris may have exposed what a diva that Dua Lipa really is. At the time of the 2019 Brit Awards, Dua was in her prime and got tons of nominations for the show. But after the show, the Daily Mail reported that insiders claimed that she was a total diva at the award show. The Sun reported that Lipa was reportedly, quote, "furious after being given a dressing room close to other guests who were eager to talk to her. Apparently her dressing room was right beside the beauty spa, so tons of people were around this area before the show." However, the singer made it clear that she didn't want to be there after other guests kept heading in to say hi and wishing her good luck. Because everyone kept coming to talk to her, she reportedly slammed her door shut and took her name tag off her door so people would stop bothering her. What made her look really bad though was that Calvin Harris's dressing room was very close to hers, and he was openly welcoming people in and talking to everyone that wanted to see him. It was reported that Harris, quote, "made his dressing room a free-for-all and was letting anyone in to help him celebrate with a magnum of champagne." However, Lipa didn't seem to care about the supposed situation, as Metro pointed out that following the ceremony, she was, quote, "too busy getting down with her pals at the Brits after party." And finally, Dua Lipa herself. Dua Lipa got in some major hot water after it was exposed that she said the N-word in a song back in 2014. She sang a cover of a song and posted it online, and in the song the N-word was used, which she repeated. Lipa covered the song Smoke, Drink, Break Up by fellow singer Mila J back in 2014, and she can be heard saying the slur at a certain point in the song. After the clip resurfaced, Dua immediately took to Twitter to apologize for ever saying the word, writing, quote, "In relation to my 2014 cover, I never meant to offend or upset anyone. I didn't say the full word, but I can admit I shouldn't have gone there at all, and that a different word could have been recorded altogether to avoid offense and confusion. I wasn't thinking it through at the time." Adding in another tweet, quote, "I always stand up for social justice, and I am very sorry to anyone that I have offended." Most of her fans accepted this apology, but many did not, and a lot stopped supporting her after they heard her say the slur. First up, we have a celebrity stylist. A TikToker with the username IamTahira decided to speak about the celebrity styling she did for some celebrities, and rate which ones were the best and worst. In the video, Tahira gave Anna Kendrick a rating of -100 out of 10, and called her a terrible person. The comments flooded asking her to give more details about the interaction, so she decided to make 2 more videos. In the first video, she said that in 2016 she was working as a stylist, and her job was to put together some looks for one of Kendrick's book signings, saying, quote, "She comes, I'm walking her through the rack, she won't speak to me, that's strike 1. I'm asking her, do you want to wear pants or do you want to wear a dress? She won't say anything." Then Kendrick's PR lady told her that if they wanted Anna to wear one of the looks, they would have to pay her $10,000. Since that was not a part of Tahira's job, she got the PR team to talk about it. In the end, Anna just ended up wearing her own clothes to the signing. But that's not all. Another part of her job was that she had to collect all the gifts that fans left her at the signing. So she collected fan mail, letters, gift cards, drawings, and paintings from Anna's fans. But at the end of the event, instead of taking all the products, Kendrick said that she never looks at that stuff, and she told her publicist to trash it all. Apparently, years later, Kendrick came back to the store and worked with a different stylist. After that stylist was done with Kendrick, she went up to Tahira and told her that Kendrick got pissed at her because this stylist had no idea who Kendrick was. Next up, Blake Lively. Blake Lively and Anna Kendrick starred in the hit movie A Simple Favor together. So not only did they spend tons of time working together, they also had to be on the press tour with one another. Apparently that was a big issue for the women because they hated each other while filming the movie, and it was so bad that the studio executives had to get involved and mediate the tension between the women. In a TikTok, the page Celebrity Memoir Book Club claimed that when filming wrapped on the movie, Lively and Kendrick were not speaking, adding, quote, "They were basically enemies and their press tours had to be booked separately." The user said that they were not sure which actress was the one that started the feud because both women had been a part of feuds with their co-stars. Lively is previously feuded with Gossip Girl co-star Leighton Meester, while Kendrick is known for allegedly being disrespectful and rude to people ranging from waiters, bartenders, and fans. The TikToker was flooded with hate comments claiming that it wasn't true, even though the TikToker claimed that they had inside sources. As a clapback, the page shared a DM showing a studio executive at Lionsgate confirming basically everything the person had said. The DM read, quote, "They hated each other. The studio even had to have a talk with them about making it look like they liked each other on press tours because it was starting to get obvious. And in particular was really competitive with Blake and was constantly asking to make sure she got more promotion than Blake, and even made us Photoshop her cleavage in the Simple Favor poster to be as big or bigger than Blake's." So from this comment, it seems that Anna Kendrick might have been the reason for the feud. After news of this feud resurfaced, some fans looked back at their media interviews for A Simple Favor, and you can clearly see the tension. In one interview, Anna Kendrick mentioned the fact that she worked with Ryan Reynolds, Blake Lively's husband, and she says that she once thought that Blake was really nice, but doesn't know now. It seems like a joke at first, but obviously could hint at the tension going on behind the scenes. Blake then jokingly goes to touch her arm, and Anna sharply responds, "Don't touch me," which seemed very real to me. Then the pair were talking about Instagram and if they block certain people, and it was revealed that at one point Anna Kendrick blocked Blake Lively on Instagram. Then later she decided to mute her instead once that became an option. That whole interaction seemed a little too real to believe it was all playful banter. This is definitely a strange one, but Anna Kendrick was rated the #1 most dangerous person to search for online in 2020 by security company McAfee. I didn't even know that they made lists like this, but somehow Kendrick made the top of this list, even though she's known for quirky and girl next door type roles. This study is done every year to let customers know the best way they can protect their data online. They research which famous names generate the riskiest search results that could potentially trigger consumers to unknowingly install malware on their devices. She was #4 in 2019, but was bumped up to #1 in 2020. The study assumed that was because of her role in Trolls World Tour. Kendrick first gained fame in 2008 through Twilight, then landed the lead role of Becca in Pitch Perfect, and another in Up in the Air. Even though her roles are pretty tame, the security agency concluded that searching her name generated the most harmful links. Following Kendrick, the next most dangerous names are Sean Combs or P. Diddy, Blake Lively, and Mariah Carey. One executive at the company said, quote, "Cybercriminals use consumers' fascination with celebrity culture to drive unsuspecting fans to malicious websites that install malware on their devices, potentially putting personal information and login details in the wrong hands," adding that customers need to think twice before clicking. Barack Obama. Anna Kendrick found herself in a very strange situation when she ended up insulting the president and even called him an a-hole right to his face. Let me explain. Anna was on Stephen Colbert and explained the story behind how she met Barack Obama and made him double over with laughter during their meeting. During the conversation, Anna says that she was invited to a presidential event and showed up very early. Then during Obama's speech, he pointed her out personally and praised her for her movie Up in the Air. Afterward, when the two had a minute to chat, the president said he hoped that she hadn't felt singled out by him mentioning her movie. Quote, "I hope I didn't embarrass you earlier." Kendrick then responded, quote, "Yeah, you're such an a-hole." Then she mentioned that she was the first to arrive and that she was very punctual being from Maine. When Obama asked her if that was a thing, she replied, quote, "You don't know that? You're the president." That entire interaction then made the president double over with laughter, but who knows if he felt that it was very awkward. One of Anna Kendrick's breakout roles was a side character in the movie Twilight, and a very shady incident happened that the rumor mill has blamed on Kendrick. Before the second Twilight movie came out, called New Moon, a salon owner found a script to the upcoming movie in the trash outside her salon. The first question that was asked was, who would have thrown out a script as precious and as top secret as this? And does this mean that the person didn't like the movie? After further investigation, it was exposed that the script was found outside of a hotel near St. Louis where George Clooney and a bunch of other stars filming the movie Up in the Air were staying. Guess who is filming that movie and also filmed Twilight? None other than Anna Kendrick. Nobody is sure why she did it, but everyone can agree it was not a good look. But that was not all. Anna got in some more hot water when she trashed the filming of the movie. While speaking with Vanity Fair, she reflected on what it was like filming the movie, saying, quote, "The first movie we filmed in Portland, Oregon, and I just remember being so cold and miserable. And I just remember my Converse being completely soaked through and feeling like, you know, this is a really great group of people and I'm sure we would have been friends at a different time, but I want to kill everyone." She even got shadier when she later added, quote, "Although it was also kind of bonding, there was something about it that was like, you know, you go through like some trauma event. Like you imagine people who survived a hot situation and you're kind of bonded for life."